Hello again, I'm Bunce.
I'm King.
And we're fishing. So we're at Charlton Lakes today.
Mark's had a
I
bite.
just had a bite. We're at Charlton Lakes today, also known as Fox Cut, and we're after pike. We're dead baiting, live baiting's not allowed. We've also got a few spinners and stuff if we get bored. Not as cold as it could have been today. I think it was 4 or 5 degrees when we got here. We got here at light and we set up. I have had a run already. It wasn't a very positive run and it did come off. What have you got?
I've got 2 mackerel on, both on flowing leads, and on a polyboard pop-up, so they're just off, they're about 2 foot off surface, 1.5 to 2 foot. There is a little bit of weed in the lake, so hopefully that's just going to give it a bit more visibility through that weed with it popping up and present itself quite nicely, so it has every chance for a bite taking it. We've seen it when we got here, the swim we're at, we've seen there's a bit of activity, so we decided to stick with this swim, and there's still a couple of jumps around. Like Mark just said, he had a good run and is robbing off a minute ago, a little line bite. Yeah, the weather's not too bad. It's not freezing, but it's still a bit cold, hence why I've got about 10 layers on.
I've only got 3.
Stud, woolly hat.
We are trying quite a lot of baits today. You've got mackerel.
I've got mackerel.
You've got herring?
Sardine.
Sardine. I've got herring, smelt, roach. Roach is what I got the run on. I've also got some lamprey. And I got a trout, which is huge, so it's only really good for sort of a kebab style rig. But we'll see what happens during the day. If we need to move, then we'll move to the other side. There is a match angler on. A couple of swims to the left of us, so I've got that map up. And as you can see behind, there's some walkers and runners and stuff. So we'll see what happens. So I'll just talk you through the first setup I'm using. I'm going with a Kebab rig, which consists of a polyball, there's a red rod with a spike on the end. I've put 2 bits of herring, and then there's a loop at the end here, which if you get your single trace, take the little red patch off, you pop it through the hole there. And then the little red tag, make sure you've put the barbed hook through, and just put the red tab through there, and that'll stop it all coming off. And then in the water it's just going to float like this. I might pop a weight just to keep it a bit lower. And that's going on the ledger rig first.
Rigging up the second line, going back on first line's on mackerel. I'm going to stick with mackerel on this one as well. Marked on a roach and you on the other one?
Herring.
Herring.
Oh, herring kebab. Yeah.
Doing a simple rig, so I'll put a polyball on the end of the mackerel, which will then hopefully that will make that float pop up like that, and then just a simple further down the line I've got just a simple flowing weight, so when the pike takes, it's not going to feel too much weight. Drop the bait. Hopefully that works. Go back to you in a bit.
So I'll just talk you through my my second rig. I'm using a natural bait, as I've got herring out already. So I'm using a roach. I've already had it in the lake to defrost for a bit, so I'll just take the rig out. And what I want to do is I just want to pop it up a bit because it's quite weedy. So what you need to do with your forceps is just use your forceps to make a hole through the roach. I'm actually going to use bigger forceps. Don't worry, it won't hurt the roach because he's dead. So you just want to use that to make a hole through the roach. And then we've got these pop-up sticks, which you just pop in the hole you just made. Like so. What I've done is I've just attached, I don't know if you can see that, just attached a little clip to that, and I can clip that straight onto the line. And then what he's going to do is he's going to float stood upright in the water. I'm just going to get a towel because that was horrible. And what I also like to do is just to try and save the rig in case anything was to happen. I use a disgorger and I just pop it in the fish's mouth through its gill, attach the rig to that, and then I push the rig through. So if it does unhook, then the rig is still attached to the fish and you're not going to lose your bait. I'll test this in the water, but I think it will be okay. The roach rig that I just put out that was popped up, filled it with a bit of attractant, popped out into the lake, and actually 2 minutes later it had a run. It wasn't a quick run. I did leave it, I don't know, just over 10 seconds before I picked the rod up. Whatever had it, I don't think had it very tightly, as I just pulled the bait out. But at least they're feeding and we know what they're taking, so at least that's positive. See if we can get anything else. So it's just before 11 o'clock. I haven't had anything since the run and the beep. I've just changed one of my rods to a float with a lamprey underneath, lamprey section. Nathan's put a float on with some mackerel. We've tried moving the baits around a bit, and we've also tried a few different baits. There's Nathan just rigging up again. Mackerel with a polyball to pop up. We're going to give it to 12, and then if nothing's here at 12, we'll look to move around the lake a bit, go around the other side and see if we can find anything. Since we got here, there was quite a lot of action on the surface, a lot of fish jumping. That's sort of stopped in the last sort of half hour, which isn't a great sign, but we'll see if we can pick something up, but if not, as I said, we'll move around. So we had no luck where we were. I did a walk around the lake, and this side is the deepest, and as I came over here I saw quite a couple of silverfish crashing. I actually saw a pike come up as well. So we've moved over here. Nathan's just the other side of the bridge there. There's a lot of water coming through from from the pleasure lake, so we're hoping it'll be a bit more active around here. Just as we move around, the guy to the left has also moved. Didn't have a great first cast, as there's my lamprey section.
So Mark had to take an important phone call, and while he was on the phone he had a run, and he couldn't actually pick up the rod because he was at an important phone call, and the result of the run was this is the fish. She's happily having a sulk. There she goes for another day.
So at the end of the day now, we've all packed up. Just had the one, which was 18 and a half, and no one else caught anything on the lake, so we're good, it's good. Anyway, see you next time. Tight lines.